We stand at a critical juncture. At the United Nations headquarters in New York, a long-anticipated international conference on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict has begun, co-chaired by France and Saudi Arabia and supported by over 100 nations, including the UK. This gathering marks a coordinated global push to revive the two-state solution, yet conspicuously absent are the United States and Israel, both of whom have boycotted the event, dismissing it as unproductive and a publicity stunt. The conference is not an impromptu gesture. It was mandated by the United Nations General Assembly in September 2024, delayed in June due to Israel's strike on Iran, and finally convened on July the 28th, 2025. Its objectives are clear: a formal recognition of the Palestinian state, reform of the Palestinian Authority, the disarmament of Hamas and its exclusion from governance, the normalization of Israel-Arab relations. And hosted over 3 days, the conference follows Emmanuel Macron's announcement that France will formally recognize the state of Palestine in September, becoming the first G7 country to do so. Luxembourg, Ireland, and possibly the UK are now poised to follow. The United Kingdom has not yet formally recognised Palestine, but pressure on Keir Starmer is mounting, and over 220 MPs have now signed a cross-party letter demanding recognition. Starmer has stated that the decision is a matter of when, not if, and recalled the Cabinet from summer recess for an emergency meeting later this week or next week on Gaza. His comments alongside Donald Trump at Turnberry were pointed: we must get aid into Gaza. That doesn't involve putting pressure on Israel, and the humanitarian catastrophe is undeniable. Yet, unlike Macron, Starmer remains cautious, aware of the political and diplomatic ramifications of moving without consensus. Antonio Guterres delivered the most forceful speech of his tenure. He warned the two-state solution was further than ever before and declared the creeping annexation of the West Bank is illegal. The obliteration of Gaza is intolerable. This conference must be a decisive turning point. And Guterres condemned Hamas's October the 7th attack while insisting it doesn't justify the mass killing, starvation, and collective punishment that Israel has inflicted since. He reiterates the UN vision: two democratic, sovereign, contiguous states along 1967 borders with Jerusalem as a shared capital. Palestinian Prime Minister Mohammed Mustafa saluted Macron's historic courage and appealed to others to recognise Palestine without delay. He acknowledged the need to unify Gaza and the West Bank under one legitimate government, and crucially, he demanded Hamas surrender control of Gaza and disarm, paving the way for a UN-mandated international force to secure peace and monitor a ceasefire. Mustafa's speech reflects a realistic if painful compromise: Palestinian statehood in exchange for Hamas's political exit and international guarantees. The US State Department condemned the event as a reward for terrorism, while Israel's UN ambassador claimed the conference deepens the illusion of peace. Benjamin Netanyahu has accused Macron of endorsing terror, and Trump dismissed the French move as irrelevant. Yet this isolation of the US and Israel may paradoxically prove how global opinion is shifting, with 149 of 193 UN states now recognising Palestine. The diplomatic tide has clearly turned. The UN conference is no panacea, of course. Without US involvement, Israeli occupation, or Palestinian unity, the road to peace remains arduous. But I think the solution is in the air, particularly with the removal of Hamas. But this week may prove historic. If France, the UK and others move to recognise Palestine in September, it could shatter the diplomatic inertia that has protected the status quo for decades. And recognition alone will not end the war, but it may finally force the world to confront its complicity, its choices, and its courage.